So I feel like I honestly have no idea how this one's gonna go. And actually sorry, I'm just gonna really quickly okay, we're gonna switch really quick. I have to do things on the fly. Looks like Esam's stream is a little behind, but we'll be using Ludwig, so it's fine. Thank you, Lud. 1 second. But yeah,
got it.
You have Ludwig's stream pulled up?
Oh yeah, we got
Excellent.
this.
Excellent. I will refresh Esam so that we can try and yeah, so they're actually just jumping right into the battle.
Perfect. Yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a tough one for both of these players. There's going to be a lot of mind games involved. You have some great trick room components on both sides of the field. I'm super interested to see kind of how Esam plays with the score guys. I didn't get a chance to watch any of Pool A, so I'm a little unfamiliar with how this team is going to run, but I'm super excited about the Gore guys. I think Trick or Treat definitely would be a strong play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really interesting that he actually leads off with Pikachu and Excadrill. That's not really what I would have expected at all, truth be told. Going into this, like this didn't really strike me as a Pikachu game, but you know, he knows better than I do.
Yeah, especially with a team like this, you're running things that don't normally go together. Like I love Gigantamax, Snorlax, Pikachu's really interesting, Gourgeist as well, but looks like we're actually kicking things off with a Dynamax here, and that's gonna be a really strong opening play here for Esam. What a world! I've not seen this before.
Gigantamax Pikachu. Yeah, I guess if you missed Pool A, then you wouldn't have seen this this beautiful Pikachu that we have here before us. So
it's so fat.
it's definitely chunky. I think that's definitely appropriate. Butterfree actually goes for Protect, which I'm a little surprised about, truth be told. But I feel like one thing that Ludwig has done super well is he has, without fail, just had incredible reach like throughout the day. And so he goes for G-Max Volt Crash. He's probably going for the flinch. Esam is probably going for the flinch here.
Wow.
Yeah. He's definitely going for the flinch.
Oh man, Butterfree getting protected through that though, and then the Rock Slide is going to connect onto the Dusclops, but both Pokemon paralyzed. That's not spelling good thing.
He actually is able to get the Trick Room up, even despite the super improbable odds of it. If I wasn't streaming and trying to fix everything, I could probably calculate it on the fly. But alas, here we are. But yeah, that's going to be really huge. I think getting Trick Room up there. Now that he's paralyzed, he can actually go for Sleep Powder. So normally the interesting thing is that there we go. Okay, everything is better. So normally the interesting thing is that using Gigantamax or Dynamax electric moves actually allows you to set the electric terrain, which then will stop you from being able to be put to sleep. However, in this situation, Gigantamax Pikachu is a little different. I see Ludwig swear, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. But we'll see. Sleep Powder comes out. It does connect onto Pikachu. Maybe Ludwig would have preferred to hit the Excadrill here, but yeah, Rock Slide comes out as well. Misses Butterfree. That's huge. That's a crucial miss. It definitely would have KO'd the Butterfree from that range. So, one thing that we really have to keep account of here is that Excadrill does not have the Focus Sash, so that could play a big role here.
Yeah, the Focus Sash is going to be, I think, a big one. Did we learn what's on the Excadrill yet?
It's actually Weakness Policy, funnily enough. We saw from his earlier games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real interesting one because we know that Excadrill likes to run multiple different types of items. So knowing that it's weakness policy, I think that's something that Ludwig is going to be able to play around really nicely. You talked about how well they're able to read through a lot of the moves from their opponents. And this ended up working out pretty well for Ludwig, even though he did have that moment where he swore.
Yeah.
It ended up working out great.
Yeah, I think one thing that I really like about Ludwig's play and something that I think is really serving him well is a lot of players are afraid to switch in their big sweepers in Trick Room for fear of them taking too much damage, and I've noticed Ludwig doing it kind of very bravely without fail, continuing to switch in his Pokemon. No Protect from the Excadrill here, and I was finishing that by saying it's really serving him well because he gets to make the most of his Trick Room turns, but he just one-shot Esam's Pikachu, which is quite unfortunate. But we'll have to see what Butterfree goes for. It's still paralyzed, but only has a 3 in 4 chance to attack. Pikachu goes down.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see what the Butterfree is going to go for. It's actually going to go for Sleep Powder. It gets it off.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, the Paralyze as well. And now X-Control is fast asleep. Not going to be able to get anything done this turn.
Wow. Actually, my stream is actually lagging a bit. So we'll figure it out. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we are having a bit of lag from Ludwig's stream, unfortunately. Trying to figure it out. Okay, actually, both my streams are lagging. Rose, can you still hear me?
Yes,
okay.
I definitely still hear you.
Okay, well maybe you should commentate because I can't see what's going on.
All right, well, we've got a couple of things happening on the field right now. We do have Butterfree that is still on the field here. Rhyperior is still going to be in the Dynamax form, and Gourgeist now out, so we now know Esam's Pokemon, and Gourgeist, I'm not really sure what it's going to be able to accomplish here. This is just, I think, a tough spot for Esam to be in. Excadrill fast asleep as kind of the big sweeping Pokemon on Esam's field now that Pikachu's out of the way, and Rhyperior's going for a Max Quake right into the Excadrill slot, and is going to get the one-hit knockout.
Wow. Sorry, chat. My computer is unfortunately not cooperating. You're gonna have to give me a second. Fortunately, this game. So yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Esam's still in this.
Yeah,
Esam's definitely still in this.
Esam is definitely still in this.
Actually went for Trick Room. So all of the Trick Room turns that Ludwig was able to take advantage of are now off the table. Just because the dimensions are gonna twist back to normal. I don't usually see that very often, but that helps because it was Togekiss that's in the back here for Esam, and that gives Esam a fighting chance now. I don't know how this Togekiss is trained, but I do know that it's carrying a Rhyperior, so that will help a little bit, I think, against Ludwig's team. But yeah, this is still not quite out of the woods yet for Esam. It's going to come down to what happens in this next turn, I feel.
You're doing great, Rose. Sorry. I'm in the process of fixing it, I promise.
We got this. We got this.
We're going to
get
through
good.
this. Yeah. Okay, let's pull the game back up first. That's much more important than the player cam. So let's see. Which is capturing this? Where is this coming from?
Just waiting to see what these players are choosing right now, but Togekiss is actually going to go for Safeguard here onto both of Esam's Pokemon, which is going to be the Gourgeist and the Togekiss, which is going to protect it from the Sleep Powder that came out from Ludwig that would have connected here. Seed Bomb coming out for the Gourgeist onto the Rhyperior is actually going to proc the weakness policy, and that's going to make Rhyperior really, really scary here as its special attack comes up. Max Rockfall now as an answer from that Rhyperior, and that's going to go straight into the Togekiss, and another one-hit knockout here. Ludwig is just knocking him out of the park.
Excellent. Okay, the stream could see again, so I'm really sorry about that, guys. I don't know what just happened. But we are back. We've made it back somehow.
We got this.
We got this. It looks like Esam is in a very good position at this point. So, yeah, we're getting through it. Don't worry. Okay, let's see. Dynamax does end, but it looks like it's a what? 4 versus 1, and it looks like it's gonna be it looks like it's probably going to be game over for Esam here. So Rage Powder's coming out. We do know that Rhyperior is boosted in the... wait, is Rhyperior boosted? It is, right? No, it's not.
Yeah,
okay,
it's boosted by the weakness policy right
now. That's right, okay.
Oh, and it hangs on from Seed Bomb!
Right, so Ludwig got some valuable information there where he realized that he can't redirect, actually. He cannot redirect Grass-type Pokemon's attacks, so yeah.
Wow, what a game though, because that so like Rhyperior got a chance to get set up there, and Esam really didn't have an answer. Like, it was great that Gourgeist was able to utilize Trick Room to get the dimensions back to normal, but it didn't really matter because there wasn't anything that Esam brought in the very back to actually take care of the Rhyperior. So that, I think, is really important for Esam to know that Ludwig is going for a very similar strategy to the games previous, and needs to figure out a way to keep Pikachu alive in those instances, and also get more value from the Pikachu if they decide to bring the Gigantamax.
Yeah, I feel like if you're Esam, you can't be too upset about that one, because even though the game went badly, he had a really good chance to prevent Trick Room from going up turn 1, thanks to his the moves that he chose. And like, even though it didn't work, if he had gotten the flinch there, he almost certainly would have been able to win the game, because Ludwig would not have been able to go for really anything, like, because he wouldn't have been able to get Trick Room up if he was flinched or paralyzed, which is, it's a pretty good chance to have one of the two happen. But yeah, I mean, you can't be. I feel like, it's one of those things where just because it looked kind of one-sided, it doesn't necessarily mean it was one-sided.
No, I don't think it was one-sided at all. I definitely feel as though Esam played the best given the circumstances.
Yeah.
It was just kind of unfortunate because the way to deal with the Trick Room just happened a little bit too late. And I think there were a couple of damage rolls involved there as well, but the fact that Rhyperior ended up getting the weakness policy procced was very much not in Esam's favor. So that's something that I feel as though it could be avoided next game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's exactly right. So we'll have to see if Esam adjusts. Like, I wouldn't be too surprised to see him just go for the same thing that he just did. Honestly, like it doesn't feel like it's like if he gets the turn 1 flinch or paralysis, he probably can win. But that's a big if, right? And is that something that he's willing to risk? Is that something that he thinks is worth it? Because if he doesn't get the turn 1 paralysis or flinch, then it's probably going to be the exact same as the other game. Although, of course, Ludwig got a little lucky with sleep rolls, with hitting attacks through paralysis. There's a lot of things that could have gone differently and would have gone in Esam's favor. He just didn't have he just didn't get the rolls he needed. And sometimes it goes that way. But is he going to adjust, or does he have confidence in his game plan and just didn't get the rolls he needed? Or it looks like he actually is going to adjust here.
Yeah, it is going to be a bit of an adjustment for me, Sam. It is going to be the Gourgeist and the Togekiss that come out, and that might actually help a little bit to deal with the Butterfree, actually. Might have to take a sleep on something, but this is definitely a good adjustment on Esam's part.
Absolutely. So it's really going to depend on how this Togekiss is trained, because we actually saw, you saw last game, and I heard last game, that Togekiss actually is carrying Safeguard. And that is relevant because Safeguard blocks Sleep Powder and makes Butterfree more or less useless. However, is Togekiss faster than Butterfree? And that's a question that only these two know the answer to. The other thing that's worth mentioning is that if you go for Trick Room in front of a Trick Room Pokemon, or if Trick Room is up and you use Trick Room again, it will reverse it. So a double Trick Room here would prevent it. And actually, that's exactly what happens. Esam calls it correctly. Ludwig and Esam both going for Trick Room. Ludwig making a face. Trick Room is back to normal. So that's I really like that play from Esam. I think that was a great adjustment. And now, basically, honestly, like Dusclops isn't that dangerous on its own, and Butterfree is kind of not useless because it can still use Rage Powder. However, it can't sleep anything, and that's one of the main draws of Butterfree. So I feel like you've got to feel pretty good about this one if you are Esam here.
Absolutely. The Safeguard turn 1 was absolutely the right play. The only thing that it would have said is Ludwig could have maybe read that a little bit better and said, well, what if you do go for the Trick Room? Then maybe I just don't, because he ended up switching in the Rhyperior, I think, because he thought he could get the Trick Room off safely, but unfortunately just didn't quite work out there. Is going to have to wait and see whether or not you can actually get any damage off with the Rhyperior, because this isn't really the state that Rhyperior wants to be in. It's going to be one of the slowest things on the field. Yeah,
so we'll have to see if Esam, I have a feeling, oh my gosh, that does a lot of damage. Trick or Treat actually comes out into Dusclops, it looks like. So it looks like Trick or Treat actually targeted Dusclops. I'm not entirely sure what Esam was thinking there. But I'm sure he knows better than I do. The Dazzling Gleam actually does a lot of damage, and yeah, I'm not really sure why Trick or Treat went there. He might have thought maybe he got confused and thought it was an offensive move. But the thing is, this Rhyperior actually took a lot of damage, and even though weakness policy goes up, he really needs Trick Room to go up soon, or else Rhyperior can definitely just be KO'd by the Gourgeist.
Yeah, Gourgeist is threatening a lot, especially with that Seed Bomb there. It's definitely in KO range, so I'd be a little concerned, but I think Ludwig's going to try to go for the Trick Room once again, because you have to get it set up in order to get anything done with this Rhyperior in a big way. So I'm hoping that this kind of pays off. Otherwise, though, Esam's been playing a pretty flawless game so far. Yeah, I feel like if you're Esam, you kind of have... Well, I wouldn't say you have a safe Trick Room here, but it feels like, what is Dusclops going to do, right? Is it going to... All it can do is literally Nightshade at this point. Gourgeist actually switches here, so I wouldn't have expected that, but I actually really like the switch from Esam, because next turn he's going to be able to go for Follow Me with Togekiss and Dynamax his extra draw and go for an attack. And Dusclops can't really do that much to help against that, because Rhyperior will be forced to attack into the Togekiss to take it out. Whether or not it KOs the Togekiss, or whether or not extra draw KOs the... Whether or not it KOs the Rhyperior is another question, because Rhyperior is really bulky. Esam has bulk on his extra drill, and Solid Rock reduces the damage of super effective attacks, so we'll have to see. This could really go either way, but he does Dynamax go for Max Guard. He was afraid of probably Max Gourgeist going for Seed Bomb and doing a lot of damage.
That's the advantage of using his max move over just regular protect, and Trick Room does go up. So, what do you think about this one, Rose?
I think this is a much better position for Ludwig to be in. This is where Rhyperior feels comfortable, and you'll definitely be able to see Ludwig get off some big turns. I think Esam switching out the Goregeist was... I mean, I like the Excadrill coming in here for sure. But it's, again, it does come down to whether or not that damage is going to be enough. That Rhyperior has to get knocked out now. And in Trick Room, Rhyperior is going to move first. I don't know if the Excadrill is going to be able to survive this, and Esam might have to actually take some time to pivot.
Yeah, I feel like Esam, he has the option of going for Follow Me. Like, it's very obvious, but I feel like he has to do it, because if he's wrong and Rhyperior gets a max Quake off, that will probably be the end. I mean, a Yawn could come out, but it's just going to be... Like, I feel like Ludwig's real like strategy and his real advantage here is that he's just able to put out a lot of damage before the opponent can react. So let's see. It is a switch. Esam calls this correctly. Ooh. Snorlax comes in, actually taking a +2 max Rockfall. This is going to do a lot of damage. Actually, and I think it's actually in Esam's favor if this KOs. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Max Rockfall is going to set the sand, which might seem like a good thing. However, it could be bad because it breaks the Focus Sash on the Butterfree.
Yeah, it is going to break the Focus Sash, but that's going to be a clean knockout here onto the Snorlax, and Esam had to kind of sacrifice that Pokemon in order to get their into a better position on board, but I don't hate it. Yeah,
actually, because now what's really interesting is because the sand is up, he can... Well, actually, I think this Excadrill's Mold Breaker.
Excadrill's Mold Breaker, yeah.
Okay, excellent. So now you're in a position... Oh, wait, Safeguard. I totally forgot about Safeguard. Because what I was going to say is you could, use Rhyperior to KO one Pokemon and use Butterfree to sleep the other one. But you cannot do that because Safeguard is up. That earlier game investment really paying off here. And like we mentioned earlier, you cannot redirect Goregeist's attacks. So with Rage Powder, because Grass types ignore Powder moves.
Yep.
So let's see if Esam learned from earlier. What I would really like to see here is actually the Pollen Puff into... Rhyperior, I think, and go for the KO on Goregeist. But yeah, we'll have to see. There's a lot of options here that could be good.
Yeah, Rhyperior is definitely gonna get a knockout onto something if it ends up connecting. I think both slots end up being like I have a super effective move against the Excadrill and the Goregeist, so I definitely expect something to go down here. But Esam's not in a terrible position just yet. I want to see what this Excadrill does, though, because that might be the table turner here for Esam.
Yeah, he still has his Dynamax. Well, he had his Dynamax available. Let's see who it is. Is it the Excadrill or is it the Goregeist? I think actually both could make some sense here. I imagine Excadrill. It's normally the favor here. It is the Excadrill. Let's see if it goes for an attack or a Max Guard.
Max Guard would be huge.
Yeah, Max Guard would be really big. Ludwig, he actually ended up going for Rage Powder this turn, which means that if he were to KO this Excadrill, it wouldn't really be... Yeah, well, it doesn't protect. So Rage Powder is kind of redundant here because you can't redirect the Goregeist attacks. And Excadrill you're attacking. But let's see, Max Flare, he does not go for a stronger move. He goes for Max Flare. It picks up the KO in one hit, even though it's not a same type attack bonus move. Overwrites the sand. Sun is up. It all comes down to what Goregeist did.
Oh my goodness, what a play though! Excadrill, it just completely gets wasted by the Rhyperior. I mean, the +2 attack I think mattered in that one in order to actually get it off. And Trick Room now
100%.
Back on the field. Wow.
No, actually, I think that was a reversal of Trick Room, getting it off the field.
Yeah.
I think what Esam said is like, hey, okay, we know you can KO. I know you can KO one of my Pokemon. But you can't KO both of them. So I think maybe he thought like, I'll go for the KO into Rhyperior and reverse the Trick Room. But it did backfire a little bit because he lost one of his main forms of offense, and Safeguard is down. So we'll have to see. The Pollen Puff partner play is still very real here. That's still a very, very good option in my opinion. Because Togekiss is probably going to want to go for a Safeguard here. It's not going to want to go for... Follow Me, most likely. Rhyperior goes for Protect. That's solid. Safe. Yeah, let's see if Butterfree is faster. It actually is faster. Sleep Powder comes out into the Togekiss. Ooh, this is starting to look really, really bad for Esam.
Wow.
Oh, okay, this is the good music. I can hear it. I know you can't. Well, actually, no, you can't hear it. You can't hear it. I love this music.
It's the best.
It's the best.
Oh, man. This is just, like... I don't know what Esam really could have done differently. I mean, the Goregeist, again, going for Trick Room just to be able to reverse the properties on the battlefield, but... Was there a better way to protect the Excadrill in that scenario?
I feel like honestly he had some bad luck. Like it was a couple calls, it was a couple turns, and you know it really could have gone like even though this is looking like it's probably going to be a 2-0, it really could have gone either way in my opinion. And again, this is not over. Like this, he could still very well still win this.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, never mind, he forfeits, and that's going to be the game. Ludwig actually wins in a 2-0. So he actually wow, he's very happy with that. Very good games to both players, though. I think they both can be really proud. And again, that was a set where, you know, if a couple things had gone differently, it's very possible that we'd have Esam versus Zane in finals. But you know, actually, what I think is interesting about this is that you know the two favorites, the favorite from each pool, excuse me, actually got knocked out in top 4. We had Hugs, who was the favorite to win the whole thing, and and Esam, who was probably the runner-up, you know, and that's really interesting. So, yeah, what do you think about this, and what do you think about the finals coming up soon?
I think the finals are going to be absolutely nuts. The players deserve to be there, but overall, the play today has been phenomenal. I can't thank you enough for having me on the commentary desk to be able to capture this moment in history with all of you. It's just been such a wild day, and I can't wait to see the grand finals.
Yeah, well, yeah, thank you so much for being here. Let's please